Oh, Mr. Ponobi, let's talk about developing the drivers of this policy. You talked about it just before we went on break. Could you shed more light on this?
Yeah, like I said, the key thing is the attitude of the drivers. And one of the key objectives of NRIP was to develop technical and vocational skills for the driver, for the industries we are looking at. I get worried, because this is a country where we don't encourage polytechnic graduates because of the dichotomy between polytechnic and university graduates. So they rather want to go to university. So I do not know how much time we are going to develop that technical skills that we actually need urgently now to drive this process. And if we are going to build institutions and we do not have the skills to drive them, we might end up going back to import skills because we say, oh, we don't have the skills now, let's bring people to come and drive them. We'll come back to the same problem of foreign exchange drain. Maybe we are substituting from the backward integration. Importing technical skills will now be another way of taking out the same exchange. But my worry is simply, how long when will it take us, like Mr. Elliott said, looking at developing from Firo, Smida, begin to say, look, in driving these policies, we are going to create vocational centers where people can actually be trained on particular skills. And we must give the incentive to make sure, oh, look, when you are trained for this particular thing, you are going to be employed to drive it. Not just that you are trained, because we have seen people go to training. We're in this country when NDE was established to train people for technical skills. You are trained and you are asked to go and look for what to do. And the guy gets bucked up and says, look, what else do I do? I will go and look for other white collar job. Because he's not giving the encouragement to say, look, yes, let's take for example, come back to the steel industry I was talking about. Like agriculture, let's even come to agriculture. We train agriculturists and say, look, when we finish, because we have this level of sugar plantations, we have this level of these rice plantations, where we are going to employ the first 100 from this point to this point. You find that a lot of youths outside there today who want to gain that technical skill, vocational skill, because one, they are granted they will be employed. And leaving that employment, they can be self-employed. Because after going to the industry and you have been trained technically, if you leave, you can just set up a small-scale farm and begin to manage it.
Now, how does this plan also affect the automotive policy plan that has kicked off?
Yes, good. You have raised a very key question. As what we are doing now, like when I go to the plan, it says, oh, they will still be, we want to build assembly plants. We have had them before, not the first time we are having them. So what we are doing now is, okay, assembly. Again, come back to the steel. If we are going to be assembling and we are importing everything we need to assemble, we are only saving maybe little from the labor cost of domestication. But we must drive it holistically. That is why when I look at the policy, I was very happy because it's supposed to be holistical. If the steel industry is working very well, you can get the steel you need for the assembly plants. You won't need to import them.
Because we already have 3 companies that are producing cars here in Nigeria.
What we are simply doing now is bring your DDK, assemble them, and we have Nigerian-made car. That is not what we think we should go. But yes, gradually we are getting to a point where what will it come to? We are going to be going through the policy. We are saying we import about 100,000 new cars per annum. 100,000 cars produced in Nigeria. Would that be enough for the Nigerian masses to drive? Because if we are saying what we import is 100,000 new cars, and what the other one is 300,000 used cars. We are saying now our need is about 400,000 cars per annum. With the 3 plants we have, can they give us 400,000 cars in a year? If they are not going to give us, we will still get back to the issue of used cars being imported. I'm sure the figures we got for used cars were the ones that came into the port. The ones that came in through the borders were not recorded. So if you look at it from that point, you see that we have a great deficit. 2 things that will be driven by that assembly plants. Maybe job creation, like we have said, which is one of the key things that the policy was supposed to address. Import substitution. By the time we begin to, we will no longer be importing the whole car, we will now be importing the parts to drive it here, and say, oh, we'll now begin to have our own car. But again, given that the world is very flat in the industrial level now, you can no longer say every part of the car must come from you. All you need to do in a flat world is get this from here, you couple it and it becomes part of your own.
So now, in terms of ensuring that that happens, we need finance. And Dr. Busari actually mentioned, issue of accessing finance being a challenge for everybody in every sector across board. We'll go to Dr. Busari in just a moment to talk to us about the Sugar Intervention Fund. Dr. Busari, just hold on to your thoughts. Mr. Elliott, let's talk about the intervention that the funds that have actually come in to help the industrial sector. You talked about the credit scheme from the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Bank of Industry, and the rest of it. Are these sectors, are these subsectors getting enough in terms of funding?
It's not the issue of funding, really. What I want to advocate now is what's the roadmap for achieving this revolution? This is a change of the whole system. Let's take it this way. This is a revolution that will involve all sectors of the economy: the bank, the university, the vocational schools, the technical schools, the polytechnic, and so.
Sorry, Mr. Elliott, let me just interrupt you here. We just have this breaking story coming in that the Nigeria Football Federation building in Abuja is currently on fire. Reports from our correspondent in the nation's capital, Abuja, says the fire started from the Secretary General of the Federation's office, that's Mr. Musa Amadu. Firefighters are currently at the scene trying to put the fire out. Already the top floor of the building has all gone. We'll bring you more details as we get them. Just to tell you again, this story is just coming in. It's breaking right now. The Nigeria Football Federation building in Abuja is currently on fire, and the fire started from the Secretary General of the Federation's office, Musa Amadu. Firefighters are actually at the scene of the fire trying to put it out. Already the top floor of the building is gone. We'll bring you more details as we get them. Of course, as is always usual with situations like this, please stay safe if you're around the area. Stay away from the area and allow the authorities to do their job. So back to the conversation now, Ms. Elliott.
Going back to your question, it's not fund problem. Nigeria keeps taking, external loans and domestic loans, and right now we are even, having much loan on our head. The money comes into the system, so fund is not the problem. But what I want to address is solution. We need a roadmap for this plan. Now, those who are going to be involved in this, driving this, you have the school, that's university, the polytechnic, the vocational school. Then you have the agencies like raw material, institution. We have that. They've just appointed a new boss there. We have FIRO that is looking into that. We have SPEDA. Now, the need for the managers of this is to interface. In fact, when you are talking of Nigerian economy, I know we have Nigerian Economic Council, where the governors, they don't have business in all of that. They are boss of their governments. Experts should tell them what they are doing. They don't have business. But before I get off there, the roadmap is this. Because it's not just only sugar we are looking at. We have talked of automobile. We have talked of agric. We have talked of ICT. I mean, industrial, you know what that means. It covers all the technical things. If you read the NRP plan, what this guy is saying, the writer, is to make Nigeria competitive, so that we move away from raw material export to mechanized products. So how we can do it to achieve this is, one, I'm telling them if they are hearing me now, one, get the university involved, get the vocational people involved, get the technical, train all of these people. Let there be a council of this, let them have technical council, please. So that